Greetings. I am Master Gano Grills for Galighticus.com, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Questions and Answers. I want to thank everyone again who came out to HyperNTR-EL Magic. We had a great and wonderful time. Lots of powerful information, modality, and most of all, magic was given. And got a chance to really bond with each other. And some people that came from out of town were able to meet other of the locals here in New York of the Galighticus family. And I'm really glad that you all took the time to exchange numbers so that now you have an extended support base, and some of the spiritual, wonderful, beautiful things that have been happening all your life don't have to be such a taboo topic or a dirty secret. Now you have someone that you can bounce it off of and cross-pollinate your notes with, and that's a beautiful thing. All right, so we're going to get into our first question. And our first question comes from Brian Jones. And Brian Jones asks, what's the best way to find your path, please? Interesting. So Brian, I consult a lot of people on a weekly basis, and some of those people do not know what it is that makes them breathe. They don't know why they are here. And to me, that's a horrible thing. So I'm going to give you something to think about. Every soul that is on this planet is here for a very clear reason. Some people are here for many reasons, but whatever the case may be, there is something inside of you that wants to experience what life is like here. There is also another part of you that wants to be of service. And more likely than not, if you get in tune with what it is that you're passionate about, what it is that causes you to lose time, that's an indicator and a catalyst to why you came to this world. What does that mean, Master Gano Grills? Well, when you're passionate about something and you enter into the zone of what erases the perception of time, and you're able to do it for hours and hours on end, you have just tapped into a higher frequency that causes you to lose the sensation of the passage of time, to the extent to which you can bring something very useful not only to yourself, but to your surrounding environment. And chances are that when you take the time to investigate what that is, and then you lock in on it, cultivate it, hone it, and make it better, it actually is something that could change the world today that we live in. The same way that if you look at an invention, if you look at the life of George Washington Carver, he was someone that asked 3 questions. He was a very quixotic little boy. And he was a botanist, he was an engineer, he was a creator, an inventor, and he had a very inquisitive mind. But he asked God one question, and he said, God, why did you create the universe? The answer that came back to him was, well, the answer to that question is too big for your consciousness, little boy. So he said, okay, let me ask another question. Why did God create man? And the same answer came back. The answer to that question is too big for you, little boy. So at the time that he lived, the peanut at that time was as seemingly useless as this dead leaf. There wasn't really anything that the peanut could do to prove its worth on earth at that time, until he asked one crucial question. And he said, why did God create the peanut? Consequently, George Washington Carver spent the next 5 years of his life unlocking the many treasure troves of that answer. So much to the point where he actually discovered different fuels and paints and ethanol. All of these different things that have changed the tapestry of our world and have given us more comfort. Just from one person asking a very simple question to the universe, but more importantly, being willing to receive the voluminous answer that he was given. So he took the answers to that question, and the answers led him to discover some many useful things about the peanut. Now we have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We have Mary Jane candies and lots of other things that I couldn't imagine life being without the use of what the peanut has to offer here on Earth. So to help answer your question, you have something inside of you which, if you look at as a kernel, if you go inside and you ask the question every day, why am I here? The universe itself will begin to answer you by reverberating throughout your waking life while you're here. So when you ask a question, it's not such a simple question. That question is a big question, and it deserves to have the specificity of your total attention. One of the things that I'd like to point out also is that most people that have a job, they work that job, full-time job, at least 40 hours a week. Some people work 2 full-time jobs equaling 80 hours a week. 40, 60, 70, 80 hours a week is a long time to invest into the quality of what you're able to have in life by being able to pay your bills. But some of those people, unfortunately, don't spend a fraction of that time asking or investigating the cause of why they are here on Earth. So I hope that that answers your question. And if you're willing to spend a little bit of time investigating and answering that question, you are guaranteed to find out exactly why you're here. Our next question comes from Eric Mills. And Eric Mills asks, what are some of the ways someone can attract evil or bad spirits into their lives? That's a really good question. And one of the things that I would say is that, unbeknownst to a lot of people, you create everything that happens in your life. You create the good and you create the bad. And you create it by entertaining certain things that might be part of your recreation. This is no disrespect to all of the beautiful women that partake in the shows that is one of America's favorite pastimes. And I kind of make fun of them sometimes because it teaches people to behave badly. And you know what that is. It's called Basketball Wives. These kind of shows, the behavior and the impetus of these shows is to erode your sense of decency and morality by giving you the permission to behave unethically and badly. So when you participate in things like this, or if you go to movies and you look at Chucky, and you look at movies like Hellraiser or Friday the 13th, and you spend your time on a second dimensional wasteland of darkness, that darkness is going to enter your life at a certain point. And that darkness will come into your auric field, and it will be a dinner bell for beings or entities known as the archons. Archons like to feed off of the residue of debauchery and chaos and confusion and fright. The feeling of fright and the energy of fright is a delectable food source for discarnate souls to feed on, because these discarnate souls don't have a food source or a body really to eat and nourish themselves. So what they have to do is to attach onto the energies that you oscillate through your own ignorance and your own favorite pastime by participating in dark events or giving your attention over to some of the things that give you a thrill. There are many entities that will sense that frequency from you, and they will come to live inside of your auric field and hang out with you and continue to eat from the vast cornucopia that you've given them on your apparatus. So that's the way that most people inadvertently attract evil and bad negative spirits directly into their life. And I hope this answers your question. I am Master Gano Grills for Galighticus.com, and I'll see you on the next episode of Questions and Answers. Namaste.